Hi, Sam. Welcome to Deep Into Sleep.
Hi, Yishan. It's a pleasure.
Great to have you. I know we talked about sleep before, and I know you have a lot of stories to share. I'm very curious, what make you get interested in the topic of sleep?
Okay. So long story short, um, I was able to last. I was able to lose 40 pounds, um, in a year just by changing my sleeping habit.
Wow.
You
Let me understand you correctly. You lost 40 pounds just by changing your sleep pattern.
Uh, well, that's a little bit overstatement, but like sleeping habit is the ignition. I would say it's the
Mm.
kind of like a start it all. But if I'm going to contribute at all, the biggest factor that will be the sleeping habit.
Wow. What did
Yeah.
you do? First, what made you want to change the sleep habit?
Okay. So it all started like almost 2 years ago. So at that time, I was like any middle class American man, a little bit unhappy about my life, same routine, job, and not necessarily very satisfied with my overall life. And at that time, I was 226 pounds, and my doctor, on the routine check, my doctor told me that, well, you're a borderline diabetic. I can put you on medication from now, and later we can put you on insulin. At that time, I was like, my boy was just born, and he was like infant. I got this thinking, wow, that's it. So I was just gonna be diabetic and be fat and grumpy for the rest of my life. I'm still relatively young. In my early 30s. How could this be my life? Um, so I decided to do something about it. Yeah, and at that time I was like, fat and unhappy. So I tried to find this really what's going on within my life, you know. So to have a snapshot of my life was like, at that time, I have to show up at the work at 8 p.m., but I always, I have to set almost like 7 or 8 alarm clocks on my cell phone, like a 2 minutes intervals, and then
Mm.
in the end, the alarm clock has to almost committed suicide because the vibration, and then jump out the nightstand, and then I got up, and you could imagine when I got up, I was like very, um, uh, you know, pretty much like I swallowed a bomb in my throat. It was like very angry. I could easily throw tantrum to loved ones, and I didn't even have time to sit down and have a breakfast. I would just heat up some kind of like a microwavable breakfast and grab one and ding in the microwave for 30 seconds and 1 minute, and then eat and have a big cup of coffee and drive to work. Yeah, that's basically my life. And after work, I would, because where I live, there was a almost a like a area that there's a lot of fast food restaurants. So every time I drove home, I had to pass all those McDonald's, Arby's, and Sonics and all that. So my treat for the day was to have a milkshake. But I was very health conscious, so I always pick the medium size instead of the large size. And I always skip the cherry because I know cherry is kind of somewhat artificial. So that was my life. And then, when you got home and day goes by, and then at night, it was my only time I feel like, okay, now it's my time. I can finally get to be who I am. So I will just binge watch a lot of Netflix movies or TV series. Now that I could finish a lot of them, but it's just like it was a habit. Sometimes I did pick up a good episode or two, and then I keep watching, and sometimes it will be like 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I still need to get up at 7, and then I have very short sleep and 4 hours maybe. So that was it. Now that I talk about it, I actually feel kind of like a disbelief because I couldn't imagine that that was my life like years, not really not long ago, but really it took a toll in my health. Not only I gained substantially a lot weight, and my mood was sort of swinging, and I wasn't really satisfied.
Right. Sounds like when you had a regular job,
Mhm.
and sounds like you are kind of night owl,
Mhm.
and it's just really challenging for you to not want to sleep early at night, but you have to force yourself get up so early, and all your like regular meal time, your sleep wake up time, like how long you can sleep, how well you can rest, it's all just messed up back
Yep.
then.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was all messed up, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why I wasn't able to. I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't trying to figure it out. I thought, okay, well, this is what they called early signs of a midlife crisis, maybe. Because everyone, I mean, a lot of people around me was sort of like that. Like you do not have a very good example at that time. Um, so later, after that doctor's diagnosis, almost like a wake-up call. So I really sit down and try to be totally honest. No more lying, no more sugarcoating to myself. I just look at my life and I started looking for answers. So I started at that time. I stumbled upon Tim Ferriss and a bunch of other successful entrepreneurs. I One thing that caught in my eyes is um, they all have a very good routine. They all have a very good routine, which is no matter how late they sleep or how early they sleep, they always have a fixed number of hours of sleep. They always go to sleep at the same time and get up almost around the same time. So I think, well, maybe I can start to overhaul my routine just by changing the time I go to sleep and changing the time I get up. So just by that, and I decided to really master this thing. So that was my journey. So and what I did was I bought a smart weigh, and a so I weigh myself every day. I and then I go to bed. I try to go to bed at the same time. I know morning routine is very important. I noticed that all of those successful and I mean, super high performance people, they all have a very good morning routine. But I know without a nighttime routine, morning routine cannot sustain. So
Right.
I sort of like did a audit of my life, and then I started to do a little bit of experiment and put myself like a guinea pig. So I decided to write down almost like I make this hypothesis. Okay, if I could go to bed at 10 p.m. and get up at like around 5, would my life be a little bit different? So I tried it. I tried it, and every day I'm feeling better. Every day I'm feeling better. I was able to get up at 5, get up at 4:30, and I feel refreshed. I feel very energetic, and my weight started to drop, almost like a pound, 2 pounds, even 3 pounds a week. And because I have that smart weight on my app, I was able to see this curve going down. That was really a very good uh, positive reinforcement. Um, it's like and that time I started to dive into the books of personal performance and self-help, and a lot of them, especially the book of like The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg,
Mm-hmm.
and also Atomic Habit, and lots of those books. I learned that even though those things are supposed to be like you know common sense, but it was just very easy to be overlooked. So I really just learned that the habit is really like addiction. Our brain cannot tell the difference between a bad habit and a good habit. I We just basically can wanted to be rewarded with pleasure and stay away with pain. So if I
Mhm.
can associate with getting up early and go to bed early with pleasure, and then I can basically turn my life around. So that's
Right.
yeah. So gradually with the diet change, lifestyle change, with more education, self education, and I also hired a coach, and and ever since then, I was back on track, and
Wow. Yeah. So you definitely your personal experience tell us again how important to have a consistent nighttime routine, morning routine, and consistent sleep schedule. Is so important. Sounds like it totally anchored your whole day. The foundation, lay a good foundation of your health. And on top of that, you feel more energetic. And then you start changing all the other things around it, your diet and how you use your time, how to use your day. And I'm curious, what make you choose 10 to 5 a.m., 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., that time as your sleep schedule?
okay. So at that time, because I still had a full time job, which I need to be at work by 8 a.m. So if I got up like a regular time, like 6:30 or 7, um, it will give me very little time for myself. So I wanted to at that time I wanted to really to have a separate time, really alone time, just by myself, really ponder and plan and just read and learn. Um, and I wasn't able to do that late night because 10:30 and 11 o'clock. Yeah, of course I could do that, but it was just I was still not feeling energetic in the next day. So I feel like I felt like if I got up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, I have a whole hour myself. I can just spend 20 minutes exercising, 20 minutes journaling, meditating, and reading, and 20 minutes just as a wiggle room. Basically you can do whatever. Yeah, and then I'm very relaxed, and I can start my day as very um like not like before. Before I was like really like wake up on the wrong side and just like hit by a bus almost like
Right. And sounds like before when you watch Netflix at night, did not want to sleep.
hmm
I'm not sure whether you are actually a night owl or just because you enjoy the night quiet time. You did not want to go to sleep, so you can just keep on going until too late, then shorten your whole sleep because you have a fixed time you have to get up in the morning.
Yeah, I think probably both. One thing, there's several shows are really good, like guys like watching Breaking Bad, or like
Mhm.
watching some kind like The Wire, all those good TV shows. And also you're right, and that it's almost like you wanted to revenge. Yeah, it almost like retaliate. Oh, like all my day didn't belong to me. I have my time was I have to work. I have to, do the chores, the family duties, and all that. Like my baby and all. So that was the only time that was purely me. It was sort of also selfish, but it's I think that's the mentality of it.
Mhm.
I knew it was not right. I knew probably not healthy, but I just at that time I think I was really addicted to that lifestyle. It's
Right.
really hard to get rid of. Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely hear that from a lot of people. I think actually it's very common humanity, if we
hmm
use a word borrowed from self-compassion theory. I feel like a lot of people do really want some personal time, personal space, every single one, right?
Mhm.
Especially in a busy world and has a lot of responsibilities. I know a lot of parents, moms, dads, really want that when they have the little one or little
Mhm.
ones
Mhm.
in the household, which is really difficult to get. And nighttime become the favorite of a lot of people, especially parents. And also sounds like you are not very happy with your regular job. It took so much time, and you like originally you did not feel energetic because of this sleep struggles.
Yeah, at that time it was like a really was a like a vicious cycle. It was because I didn't sleep well, so my metabolism was sort of messed up, and so my hormone level is probably out of balance. So it was very hard to focus at work, and but ever since I overhauled my nighttime schedule and morning schedule, my productivity at work at that time increased, and my happiness level and my fulfillment level really increased substantially at the time. So that yeah, um,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
I saw everything good about it. I didn't see one, not even one cons. So I decided to
Mm.
stick to it.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people when we read this books from famous entrepreneurs talking about habit, even including myself, I always think I do want to change my schedule so I can get up at 5.
Mhm.
It's actually really hard to do. How did you manage to be able to go to bed at 10? First, are you able to fall asleep easily? And then how you manage to get up at 5, which is much earlier than before. I know even 7 a.m. was so hard for you, and now 5 a.m. even much earlier.
Okay, so what I did, I was like, I geeked out. I sort of like looked for the answer. I bought a lot of books on the topic on morning routine, like Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. Club, or how I forgot his name. Sorry, the Miracle Mornings and
Mm,
5 seconds rule. All those things on habit reformation and all those books. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos, try to find the answers. So what I did was I audit my regular routine, which is do let's say from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. What did I do? What was my regular routine? That time I was probably washing dishes, or just barely do anything, or just watching TV or not doing anything. Uh, and then I did just so I what I did was like if I want to sleep by 10, what I need to do. So I reverse engineered. So okay, if I want to go to bed by 10, that means by 9:30 I had to stop working, stop anything computer or with a screen, anything I need to stop. And then I probably by 9 I have to, you know, have a shower or whatnot, have meditate or by 8:30. So I got it as and then I set as several alarm clock every 30 minutes intervals just to remind me. So 8 o'clock was the one that remind me. Okay, now it's time to wrap up the day, um, wind down, and do a little bit book reading, and but no social media whatsoever, and avoid some food. I won't eat anything after 7, and then so I pretty much scheduled my nighttime. So and also I used the several apps that really helped me, like on iPhone, this called bedtime. Um, with bedtime, you can easily calculate, say, if you need 8 hours of sleep, and you can spin the wheel and you can know, okay, if I go to bed at 12 o'clock, and if you still need 8 hours sleep, then you need to get up at 8. But if you're getting up at 6 o'clock, then you only get six hours sleep. So it's an easy math. You cannot fool yourself. Sometimes we're the biggest liars telling ourselves, right? We
right.
just forget the math and basics. So I think that is a very good visual tool that I will just calculated it. Okay, and I did a little experiment. I figured 6 hours for me was a sweet spot. I'm not saying that everybody should sleep at 6 hours, but for me, 6 hours when I get up, I feel energetic and fresh. And I figured 6 hours is a good time. So if I want to get up at 5, then 10 p.m. was the time. So that was
Mm.
sort of um, the science of my I was able to do it. And also I learned that I cannot use the snooze button. Yeah, because the snooze button is really bad. If I press the snooze button, it basically will bring me back to another sleep cycle, which is almost like a 90 minutes. But 10 minutes later, the alarm will still ring. My sleep pattern will mess up. So I think it's a really bad. So I learned that from Mel Robbins, a 5 seconds rule.
Mhm.
But just no rationale, no rationalization whatsoever. Sometimes when the alarm rings, we want to tell, oh, it's just another 10 minutes. Just let me finish this dream. Blah blah blah. But to change the physiology is the key. Just get up, count to three, count to five, get up. And then once you change the physiology, everything changes. The momentum is there. And the hardest part of the day is that getting up. Once we're getting up, then our day is really greatness awaits. But if we messed up, it will be sort of like a old pattern again. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that momentum. Yes,
Mm.
even from sleep science point of view, snooze button is definitely very bad, very harmful for our sleep. And after snooze button, we don't have good quality of sleep anymore. So there's no point of keep trying, even though we feel like we are getting a little bit more sleep by
Mm-hmm.
keep on hitting the snooze button. The reality is it's really bad, poor quality of sleep, and not even real sleep. It's just not good for us. And but the momentum is so hard
Mm-hmm.
to get it, listen to the alarm, and just try to get up.
Yeah.
Mm, amazing. So sounds like this really transformed your life. Just all start from changing this sleep habit and a lot of other things afterwards.
Yes, yes. It was basically changed my life. Not only I was able to lose 40 pounds. My physiology, my body shape, my skin, my everything was probably the at the best status ever in my adult life. I'm not joking. Yeah. If you look at the picture of me 3 4 years ago, was like probably look maybe 3 years older than what I look like right now. So yeah, and also he transformed me, turned my life around. Now I'm living with a purpose. I have a sense of mission, and I become full time entrepreneur, and I'm building something I feel um, obligated to build, and I really enjoyed it every day. And I feel like this sense of truly control of myself. Back then, I was basically, I feel like I was like a slave of my senses. So, and in the modern day America, we all, we thought we're free. We're not being brainwashed, but we are all brainwashed, being brainwashed every day by marketers, by commercials, by all those signs, McDonald's sign or smell. It's all programmed into our subconscious. So now that I'm able to monitor that, and sometimes still there's struggle, but it is it is a dynamic process. It's like a moment to moment adjustment. It's just like having putting my both of my hands on a steering wheel. I still need to make a little adjustment every day, but still I feel the general direction is good, and I'm in total control.
Yeah, I know the sense of control is so important
Mm-hmm.
psychologically for ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, sounds like when you had this regular job before,
Mm-hmm.
life was not like control. You did not have control over things very much. And you were just dragged along, kind of like autopilot, trying
Mm-hmm.
to get through day by day
Mm-hmm.
and not very happy. So I'm very curious after you get healthier,
Mm-hmm.
more energetic, and even more productive at work, what make you eventually decide to make a career transaction from a regular secure job with stable paycheck to build your own thing and try to be an entrepreneur?
I think the biggest drive at the time was actually I would contribute to this eventually was the sleep change that I saw the transformation in my own self. So I wanted to really contribute more. I truly wanted to use my knowledge and expertise and experience over the years to to help more people. It sounds corny right now, but it really is because I feel like you know if I was staying in the regular job, I'm not saying that a regular job is not good. I actually entrepreneurship I believe is not ideal for it for everyone. It is probably one of the loneliest job in the world. Yeah. But at that time, I feel like 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, would I be ultimately satisfied or feeling fulfilled? Or if I could take this opportunity to build something and eventually help a lot of people. So that's my drive behind it. So I decided, yeah, I think yeah, stable job every 2 weeks paycheck sounds good, but it's scary to go all in. But I think I will be regret I'll be very regretful at my deathbed. Um,
Mm.
when I one day that day comes, I will be very regretful for not doing anything that I wanted to do just because of fear of afraid of the losing the security and all. Yeah.
Right. I really admire your courage to make such a big shift, to challenge yourself and fulfill your mission, this meaningful life you can vision. And while your child is just born so young, like with all this real life pressure.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, at that time the pressure was real. The pressure was real. So when I made that decision, I did a little bit. I did a thorough analysis. It was like okay, the pros and cons, the long-term pros and the short-term pros, and um, I did all that. So I tried to persuade myself and also persuade my wife. Was not a decision based on ego, and this was not a decision based on uh, you know uh, just want to be quote unquote free sake. It was purely a calculated risk. Uh, I have and before that, and I already made a lot of preparation in terms of finance and also the sort of business I wanted to build. So almost like the second day I quit my job, I was already uh, getting gears. So
Oh,
luckily, I was able to. Uh, and at that time, I didn't know that the COVID is coming, so that added a little more fun. But it turns out that everything was fine. Everything was fine, and business is actually doing well. And until today, I still don't regret the decision I made. Um, I especially appreciate that epiphany I had for the sleeping. So that's why when I saw your interest research, I feel like I need to share this with a lot of people because um, a lot of people would consider sleep as the lowest priority. They will do whatever
Right.
just
Right.
to put the sleep the lowest. It's almost like a have to thing. But I would say sleep is probably the most important thing. If you want a lot from your life, if you want to love your loved ones, you want to see your children and all that, then arrange your sleep first and plan and design your life around it, not try to get away with it.
Wow, I absolutely love that. I feel like in my work and a lot of sleep specialist work, we try so hard to help people understand sleep should be the priority. And I just talked to another sleep doctor yesterday. He mentioned, we often say the three pillars of life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sleep, nutrition, exercise,
Mm-hmm.
but sleep should be the most important among the three. And if you build sleep well, you have good sleep habits, good sleep routine, other things will follow. And also, he asked this question, I think totally makes sense. Which one of the three is easiest to do, right? Quickest, easiest to adjust.
Yeah,
Sleep.
yeah. In a way, I feel like it's a little bit counterintuitive because I feel like wow, this is so easy. I mean, it's not easy to do, but it's so simple, right? I mean, it's like we just need to be like go back to the basics, go back to the kindergarten time. Like we need to have sleep train and then basically overhaul all the little habits of ours, and then redo them and optimize them to the healthy and regular pace. That's it. And until recently, I read a lot of uh, articles or interviews from other entrepreneurs. It further proved my hypothesis. A lot of people, they really live like a monk. Yeah, it's like a monk-like life. A lot of people would say, "Oh, those billionaires or entrepreneurs are like they're living a fancy life. They party all the time." The truth is, not really. A lot of them are just like very low uh, desires in material things and very strict to their diet and very strict to their exercise regimen, and they sleep like a they call it biohack. They put sensors on their rings and they calculate how much time they sleep every day. It really they pay a lot of attention on their life and try to live in a minimalist and simple lifestyle.
Right. That totally makes sense. I definitely think a lot of when I study like positive psychology before,
Mm-hmm.
and there are examples of what make you happy when you get rich. Because actually, as people have more money, the happiness level either not going up, it just stabilized, or you become less happy and start having more mental struggles. And for those who can be both rich and happy, they actually been doing a lot. They keep a lot of old routine and simple life routine using simple things, old stuff, not necessarily fancy. And they definitely contribute to the world a lot more and really give, not just take. And they take good care of their own habits, their own health, their own mental health and physical health.
I totally agree. I think that's the um, we we when we understand the secret behind happiness and the fulfillment, then we build our life around it rather than we chase money or chase fame or chase Facebook likes or social media recognition or whatnot. Our life will be very satisfied. And I would say my life story so far is a testimony of that. And I would say um, I've done a lot of stupid mistakes in the past, physically and spiritually and all that. But now I would say I'm very happy. I'm very fulfilled. I really enjoy my life, and the people around me, they feel that too. My wife is very happy to see my change, and she lost about 20 pounds also. Yeah, just by following our diet together. She didn't do it on purpose, and she is also very happy. And we got more quality time together with my son, and it's I would preach this idea any chance I'm possibly can. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really really helpful. Yeah.
great. So inspiring. If you chase meaning in life, other things will come naturally.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I do agree with that. Um, I think it's a lot of the time is more spiritual. Could be um, metaphysics, but that probably be another topic. But it's in general, I feel like if we're in a lower stress level, because I think what sleep did to me mostly is to reduce my cortisol level.
Mm.
My cortisol level was very high, so I'm sorry, there was a thunderstorm in the background.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so my cortisol level was very high. Was like always like fight and flight mode.
mm.
So my metabolism, hormone level was really messed up. So that's why I gain weight. My gain weight not necessarily because I'm addicted to sugar or not necessarily I ate more calories. Was because of my metabolism wasn't functioning properly, and probably the biggest culprit was sleep deprivation. I wasn't having enough sleep. So once I didn't have enough sleep, I was always in stress. And when I was in stress mode, I wanted to eat more sugary and high carb food to alleviate that stress or nervousness. Yeah,
definitely a vicious circle,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And sleep deprivation is definitely something we can do by prioritizing our sleep. It's different than insomnia or other type of sleep disorder. If we are purposely deprive our own sleep, we can definitely make change around it, just like what you did. And we witness from your experience how big a transformation that can all bring.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Even you you can see the changes, immediate change within days. Yeah, it's our body responded very well. It's if you're negligent to your body also responded to you. It's like the car. If you don't take care of your car, the sign, what is it? The warning sign will pop up, right? Then it will cost you a couple hundred or even $1,000 to repair. But if you've been taking care of your car very, with care, with love, and your car will take care of you. So every morning will take you to where you need to go.
Right. None of us are Superman. Our body, we do need to take care of ourselves. Our body, just like a machine, like a car, needs really great self-care and self-awareness. Those warning signs are not that
Mm-hmm.
obvious sometimes, right? Took you a while to realize it and think if we are not aware of that, never think about that way, we just keep on go, 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 and then the warning sign possibly going to be there for quite a while before we even like realize, oh, something is wrong.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very alarming here in the United States right now. You will see like over 65%, according to the statistics, over 65% of adults are overweight, and a lot of them are on antidepressant drugs, and cancer and all those chronic and diseases and all that. Uh, I'm not saying they're like uh, directly correlated to sleep deprivation, but if we can fix sleep, and then a lot of things could gradually get better.
Mm-hmm.
because I myself I was able to see that at that time, if 2 years ago, if I was still following my old routine, I was on the highway to diabetes, and potentially in 10, 20 years I will probably get cancer. Yeah, because my cells are always in stress mode, and my immune system is messed up. And yeah, so at
Yeah.
that time I remember every quarter I caught a cold every quarter. Yeah,
Mm.
but but I knock on wood, I haven't had any cold symptom for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of the research I
Mm.
shared in a previous episode about if we have sleep deprivation and we are not sleep enough, we don't allow ourselves sleep enough. Not only, it definitely hurts our immune system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only we are easier to get cold and get sick, but also the vaccine less likely take longer to start working in our body.
Yes, yes, because I think the cortisol, when the doctors are doing surgery for kidney transplant or organ transplant, they will inject a high dosage of cortisol into the recipient's body just to turn off the immune system for maybe 30 minutes. So that is a very good example, right? The
Mm.
cortisol is to turn off our immune system. If our cortisol level is always constantly high, like when we're not sleeping well, the cortisol level is high when we're taking a lot of caffeine, cortisol level will be high. Then we're basically in an overdrive mode, and that is not a healthy way to sustain our life.
Right. Yeah, I'm so happy you did all this to really take responsibility of your own physical health and lead to a better mental health and eventually a whole family's happiness.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of audience got really inspired by your story. If they want to know more about your business, what you are doing right now, or get in touch with you, is there any way people can find you? Do you want to introduce your business to us a little bit?
Okay, yeah, I am a accent and executive communication coach. So my business is I help a lot of immigrant entrepreneurs, professionals, and those who are looking for jobs, helping them to build their voice branding, so they can speak more confidently and to perform better in their work, in their sales presentations, in their overall performance. So that's my business model. So I offer coaching courses, and also I have a master class. Yeah, if the audience are interested in, and they can go to my website, samxia, samxia.com, to learn more.
Great, thanks, Sam. I will put all the information, anything you want me put in the show note for our audience to go to for reference. And so they can find your website there also and directly go there to read more information.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you
much.
for coming to the show today, Sam.
My absolute pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully to talk to you next time.
Sure, sure. I would
A
love it.
lot more to talk about, sounds like diet and other type of like change you experienced.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to it.